Alright, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a map tier list. This is a Garden Warfare 1 and a Garden Warfare 2 map tier list, so I guess I'm also kind of putting, the opinion of Garden Warfare 1 having better maps to the test. I mean, hey look, I've played each map a fair amount of times at this point, so... Alright, first up we have Time Park. This is quite an infamous one in the community, but concerning my opinion of it, it's bad. I don't like it. It's very frustrating to play on, because if you control the center part of the map, that's it. Like, it's all well and good going, well, I'm just not going to go in the center. But normally, an entire team goes there. So if you want to fight someone, you have to go to the center. But as soon as you go in the center, you get completely gunned down. I think the map would be made a million times better if the portals weren't there. If you were actually able to kind of peek around the corners. Next, we have Z-Tech Factory. Oh, Z-Tech Factory. God damn, I like this map. We're going to put this in great. It's a big map, certainly, for a Team Vanquish, but you got those teleporters that make it seem a lot smaller and a lot easier to kind of get around. You're never hunting for a fight for more than 2 seconds because of those teleporters. I think there are some really good spots for sniping. There's some really good indoor spots where you don't have to snipe and you can be a little bit more close ranged. I think the map accommodates most playstyles. It's quite vertical as well, so you have a lot of fun playing Super Brains and Rose and characters like that. I think this is just a nice, solid map, very well laid out. There's a lot of variety in it, very easy to traverse. You can always find a fight. Frosty Creek, I'm gonna go decent. I think Frosty Creek is nicely laid out, especially for like Gnome Bomb and Suburbanation. You've got very kind of distinct areas of the map. The way it is laid out, it's firmly like 2 sides, where a lot of the time you should be caught in some stalemate trying to fight across the bridge or across to the other side, even in a game like Team Vanquish, which, kind of makes the map feel a little bit boring and samey. Alright, next up, Moonbase Z. Another decent map. So the reason why I wouldn't put this map any higher is because it's low grav and a lot of it's outdoors, so you are very limited in what you can play effectively on this map. Like Deadbeard and Cactus dominate, Chompers, just forget about it. Right, Colosseum. I'm going to put this in the good tier. I mean, it is very open, but there is like the surrounding areas, which you get fed into quite nicely, so there are a lot of fights in there as well. I feel like the layout is very conducive to a variety of fighting, even though a lot of it is that open Colosseum bit. You can still have a lot of fights without using sniper. I mean, this is basically like Rose's playground, this map, so it can be a little annoying if you're playing Imp, but other than that, I think it's nicely laid out. It leads to a solid amount of variety in how you play the map. Alright, Zen Peak. This map is so basic. Zen Peak. I'm going to put Zen Peak in decent. I like it. It's a bit boring, I think, the layout. And a lot of the time, especially with Gnome Bomb and Suburbanation, you can get a lot of like cactus camping, especially in the kind of rocky section. And there's obviously a lot of rooftops as well, so soldiers are having a lot of fun. So this map definitely suits more characters than others, which is why I wouldn't put it any higher. I also think, it is a bit basic in the way it's laid out. What's next? Boney Island. Where would I put Boney Island? I'm going to put Boney Island in mediocre. And here's why. You only really fight people in the center of the map, and the center of the map can feel a bit cramped and a bit crowded. So forget about using Cactus. It's quite cramped, so Super Brains, you really can't get the most out of him. And the areas where you spawn in, unless it's Gnome Bomb, you just aren't going to get a fight in any of those areas. The two, you spawn in, you meet in the middle, you fight, and you repeat. Not my favorite map, certainly. Sandy Sands. Where would I put Sandy Sands? I'm going to put Sandy Sands in decent. Here's why. So it is a little bit like Boney Island in that you kind of meet in the middle and that's where all the fighting happens. But the middle kind of has 3 sections. All 3 areas play very differently. Yes, you are very much funneled into the center, but the center has a lot more variety. Although the weather is a hot point, the dynamic weather, the sandstorms is a hot point of contention, and my take is it doesn't bother me. I'm never annoyed when it comes on. I'm just like, okay. Aqua Center. I'm going to put Aqua Center in decent. I have heard the argument that Aqua Center can play like Time Park, but the difference here is that you can actually see if anyone's in the center, so you can snipe him or pick him off from the distance. It's not like the portals making it absolutely impossible to see into the center. Actually, I'm gonna I'll move it down to mediocre, actually. The map isn't that exciting. It's a very basic layout. Frontline Flats. Ooh, I like this map. This map's good. I mean, it has that distinctive two sides, but you can find a fight basically anywhere, and there's a lot of like kind of almost hidden pathways to get to the other side. So playing Gnome Bomb on this map, for example, it's so good. This map is like built for Gnome Bomb. It can feel a little bit like Foot Soldier's Playground with all those like roofs you can get on, but I feel like it's laid out nicely. The flow is amazing. Alright, we're moving on to turf now. So that's Seeds of Time. Alright, I'm going to put Seeds of Time in great. Things that stand out to me as not being so good would be the Egypt point. My goodness, you have to walk 1,000 miles to get to the point as the zombies. I think most of the other points are amazing. There's a lot of really good spots, especially in the first one. Attacking and defending, it feels quite fair overall. But there's a lot of kind of like extra pathways and hidden areas to get to the point. And I think there's a lot of variety in locations. And the ending minigame is pretty fun, if not a bit basic. Great White North. I'm going to put Great White North in decent. I think the first objective point in Great White North is what brings it down for me. Especially when the plants and zombies both opt to snipe. Wait, this is Moonbase Z. Did I say Moonbase Z for the other one? Oh, they're both Moonbase Z, whatever. You know, it feels very similar to Great White North actually, with that first point being incredibly open. Everyone snipes, you just don't get anywhere. But after that, the map kind of picks up with an okay ending minigame. I'm going to put it next to Great White North, I think. It's just Great White North in space, that's what it feels like. Actually, I'm just trying to think about I think it's the third point with the drill. Really makes this map, I think. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to move you down to mediocre and move you to decent. That's what we're doing. We're going to put Zomburbia. We'll put you in great, and then I'll chat about it and see if that influences where I put you. I don't think there's a single point on this map that I hate playing. And the ending minigame as well is pretty fun. Sometimes when it's down to the final thing to vandalize, you can kind of enter a bit of a stalemate. But most of the time it feels pretty fair and pretty balanced. And there's there's a variety of ways you can get through. There's the center, which is the most risky, but it's, the closest to the point. There's the two side entrances that you have to break the wall down to get into. And then moving on to the map, there's like the zoo point is amazing. There's also that point where the carnival floats, which feels very dynamic. Really solid map, I think. Tombopolis. And the map just kind of felt different from all the others, so distinct. You're in the big city. I'm going to put this next to Zomburbia. A lot of people talk about the ending boss fight as a knock against this map. I don't think it was supposed to be that epic boss fight though. It was just an ending minigame with a bit more of a twist to it. And I feel like in that respect it works quite well. I think the junkyard point is an example of how to do an open shooting range style objective right, because there's loads of crates you can hide behind, and there's loads of opportunities to not be killed by a sniper, whereas Moonbase Z, you don't really have that. Oh, okay, we're done with Garden Warfare 2. The Garden Center, it's just exactly the same map. Alright, Suburban Flats. I'm gonna put this in decent. I feel like it works really, really well with the original 8 classes. I think the map is very basic. Other than that, I can't really remember how it plays. Oh, it's the one with the... Oh, no, I remember that. It's got the treehouse. Yeah, no, it has the treehouse, and the rest is just houses. Okay, yeah, no, this map's alright. I'm trying to jog my memory of half these. Oh, Zomboss Estate. I remember this one. I'm going to put Zomboss Estate in decent also, I think. It's a really big map. There's that huge pumpkin area behind the mansion. I don't think I've ever had a fight on in most of my time playing that map. It's normally around the front and by the sides. There's Shark Bite Shores. We're gonna put you. Oh, are you great or are you just good? You're good. You're good. There's 3 really distinct areas, and for the most part, the map does a really good job of creating a decent amount of flow to the point where you are fighting in all of these different areas. Port Scallywag. This was kind of like Time Park before it was cool, wasn't it? I'm going to put you in mediocre. I'm going to put Chomptown in decent. I think Chomptown is fairly basic, but for Garden Warfare when it works, you fight pretty much everywhere. Map's got decent flow. Oh, the backyard background. Talking strictly as a map to play on, I'm going to put this in good. Decent. The backyard background works really, really well for Taco Bandits, but anything else, it kind of starts to fall apart a bit, especially Team Vanquish. Oh, yes. The Holy Grail. Oh my god, this map is incredible. There is not a single part of this map that I hate playing. It's huge, especially in the first point. There's a lot of it you don't use, but I just absolutely love the overwhelming amount of variety in like places you can go in this map, and the amount of like different paths that feed to the point. It is just, I'm still discovering new things on this map. It is so vast. The ending minigame is also pretty fun. It does feel like a slightly more primitive version of the Zombopolis ending minigame, but I still think it's really fun nonetheless, with the cannons that you can get in as well. Oh, Walnut Hills. You know, for as much as I do whinge about Walnut Hills, as far as my taste goes, I would have put Driftwood Shores and Garden Warfare 2 any day of the week, but I can see why it got voted in. It is just, it's a solid map. It's a really solid map. Like, the reason why I wouldn't put it any higher is because it doesn't really have any of those additional pathways. It is just a clear-cut 2-3 lane straight shot to the point. But it's simple, the points are unique, they're fun to defend and attack. Oh, we've got Main Street next. Oh, I really like Main Street. Oh, but is it great or fantastic? It's fantastic. Main Street's fantastic. Very similar to Driftwood Shores. The amount of ways you can get to the point, sneak around, it is just so fun. Especially the second point with the car park. Like, there's like a whole building that you can go up and down there. The ending minigame is also fun as hell. Oh, Cactus Canyon. Where am I putting Cactus Canyon? It's not fantastic. I'm gonna put Cactus Canyon in good. It really ticks all the boxes you need for a decent turf map, but that's kind of it. Jewel Junction. I'm not a fan of Jewel Junction. Oh, final map. Crash Course. Crash Course is pretty decent. So yeah, my number 1, 2, 3 maps. We got Driftwood Shores, first place, second place Main Street, third place Z Tech Factory. So yeah, that's my tier list. Let me know down in the comment section how you would have ranked the maps differently. Do you agree with some of the places that I've put the maps? One last thing, 99p a month, I do extra content, behind the scenes stuff, how-to stuff, and additional bonus stuff, all for 99p a month, right next to the subscribe button. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Goodbye.